Hello. I do realize that most of you don't have a choice but to listen to me. I know it must be so boring for you guys, because everybody's stories is important to them. I know, we just nobody. Right. Let me tell you where I am today. By the way, English is not my first language, it's my third. So sometimes I know what I want to say, but it kind of just doesn't translate quite well, so please bear with me. Where I am today, I retired at the grand old age of 38. I don't have to work anymore. The income from my properties, after everything is paid for, is enough. They're distracting me. Is enough for me to live on. Not only have I retired, my husband doesn't have to work anymore. He's got his own private hire company, he does, but there was time when he hated it. But he had to work all the hours that God sent because he had to provide for the family. He's got a choice to go back to college and train for something that he wants to do, knowing that, the family's looked after. I have a property portfolio worth several £million, and I have a couple of millionaires who are my business partners. I've got fantastic friends. Sue is one of my best friends here, and other TMA members. Glenn is my inspiration. Michael, I'm going to have £100 million with him in 10 years. Fantastic people that I've met. This is the real treasure. This is really, really important to me. This is where I am today, but let me tell you a little bit of my background. I was born in Pakistan, like, I've often done a bit in the essay. I'm one of 4 girls in a society where girls are not considered to be a nice thing. Even now, when we get a knock on the door and we get handed a box of sweets, we know somebody had a baby boy. You never get a box of sweets for somebody who had a little girl. In places where they don't have social security systems, where you rely on your children to grow up and earn for you, boys are seen as somebody who will grow up, earn a living, and be there for your old age. Girls are seen as just useless. There wasn't a school for me to go to when I was young, so I went to a boys' school. There were 26 boys in my class and 2 girls. The teachers wanted the girls educated, but they had to sort of keep it from the authorities. So anytime we had an inspection, we were sent home. My dad came to England in the 60s to earn a better living. I joined him with my mom when I was 11 and a half. I went to school for 2 years, and then I left school at 14 because my mom became severely disabled, and I had to stay at home and look after her. And that's how I spent the next 8-9 years. I think I hardly went out of the house. Mom was severely disabled. I had to look after her. Got married. Husband was working very hard, but it was very, very difficult. We were really struggling to make ends meet. It got really bad at the point where we were homeless for a little while, and the local council were kind enough to give us a 2-bedroom flat in the most crappiest area of my town. The people were so racist that every time we went out, we got shouted at and abused. There was one time when I was out with my mom and my little one, and we were physically attacked by a group of 10, 15 youngsters. When we finally got home and called the police, they thought they didn't want to take it seriously because it was just kids. I mean, some of these 14-year-olds were this big, right? But these things happen. So I thought, what can you do? Limited choices. But something inside me said, you can do more than that. You can do better than that. So I started looking at ways of supplementing the family income. And I was very fortunate enough to come across Deep's website. I left my email address and my name and started getting emails from him. Really interesting. Started looking at property. No income, no savings, right? Top of that, family support. They said, do not go into property. Sure way of bankrupting yourself. Didn't have anything to bankrupt, right? But I learned about his course called Success Through Property. this big thick binder. It was around about £200. I can't remember exactly how much it was. Didn't have the money to buy that. I was struggling to buy a pair of shoes for my kids, let alone spend £200 on a book. So I got myself a job as a cleaner in a local community centre. Took me 6 bloody months to save up the money. After 6 months, I got the course, started reading through it. It was phenomenal. It was really, really good. Saw a house in the local area that I really liked. Went, looked at it, really nice. Felt like a bit of a fraud because I thought the estate agents are going to think, what is she doing here? She's got no money. Made an offer for the property for the full asking price. I was too embarrassed to offer them anything at all. And they said, yeah. And then I had to worry about how I was going to fund it. At that time, a friend of mine came to visit me with her problems. Her husband had passed away. He was 38, left her with small children, and she didn't know that he had an insurance policy of around about £40,000. And she said, Maksoom, I don't know what to do with this money. I've never left the home. He did everything. I need to invest it somewhere for the future of my children, but I don't know what to do. So I said to her, look, I've got this problem. I want to buy a house, but I don't know how to do it. And she said, why don't we work together? So we went to see the estate agents because we didn't know who else to go and speak to. And he said, yeah, I'll speak to my mortgage broker. Spoke to the mortgage broker. He said, yeah, if you can put that down as a deposit, we'll get you a mortgage based on the rental income. Fantastic. Even before we completed on the house, there were people waiting to rent it. So I thought, ooh, this is easy.